I didn't get along very well with the producer, whose ideas were pretty bogus, and wound up only directing about, I think, 7 or 8 days of that shoot before we had irreconcilable creative differences, and he unceremoniously fired me. I now had, you know, quickly gone up through the system to director, but you know, gotten chopped off at the knees. Now I didn't know where I was. Was I still an art director? Should I go back to that? Or should I stay on the course of directing? Now, having gotten fired off my first film, I couldn't get a phone call returned from anybody. I mean, the people at Warner Brothers wouldn't even call me back. Nobody would call me back. I mean, I literally was further removed from the film, from my goals as a filmmaker at that point than I was previously. Because previously, I had potential. Now, I was just a loser. So I realized that the only way I was going to get this thing jump-started is if I created my own project and then held on to it, you know, tenaciously like an abalone until somebody put up the money for it.
That project turned out to be The Terminator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Biehn, and Linda Hamilton. The film received international acclaim and made over $80 million worldwide. Cameron challenged himself to write a script that could be shot non-union, independent, and in the $3 to $4 million range.
This is a mistake. I didn't do anything.
No, but you will. It's very important that you live.
So I had a given, which was contemporary street environment. That was determined by budget. No big movie stars, so maybe the main characters can be kind of young. This fantastic element, which is what I personally would bring to it that another filmmaker might not. Okay, visual effects. So then I said, all right, what if something came from the future, just to choose something at random? Now, what's the narrative trigger for that? So then I came up with the idea of this futuristic hitman that comes back to try to change the present. And one thing led to another, and pretty soon I had The Terminator.
Get out. When we met and we started talking about the Reese character, and I started slipping into the Terminator character and talked more and more about the Terminator character, how he should behave and how he should be trained and how he should be blindfolded and should be able to take the weapons apart and put them together, how he should never blink when he shoots at someone, how he should show no feelings at all and just be like a living machine, and on and on and on.
It was the very, very first meeting, and he was proposed by Mike Medavoy at Orion to play Michael Biehn's character, Reese. Well, I don't think there's anybody that would think that that was a great idea.
Jim Cameron said to me, he says, whoa, wait a minute, he says, I have an idea. I said, what's that? He says, you play the Terminator. I want you to be the Terminator. And I said, no, I didn't come here to play the Terminator. I came here to play the hero, not the villain. And Jim Cameron said, he says, believe me, the Terminator will end up being the star of the movie. This is about the Terminator, not about the hero.
Doing 25 pages of expository dialogue, talking really, really fast and painting this picture of a future world that we didn't have the budget to actually visually create was not going to be his strong suit. You know, he's evolved tremendously as an actor, and I would throw him any dialogue now and feel very confident that he could do it and make it play. But at that time, I certainly didn't think he was the right guy to play that character.
And so he convinced me during that lunch meeting that I should play the Terminator, and said this is how this whole thing happened. And then, of course, the rest is history.
Jim is a perfectionist, there's no doubt about that, and he is very demanding. He's no more demanding on anybody else than he is on himself. And for me, it was always exciting to have somebody like demand more from me than less. Somebody who wanted the best from me, the most that I had to offer, and pushed me and pushed me and pushed me until he got the best performance that he could. It's a great experience for me working with him, no matter how demanding he is.
Apparently there was some part of this kind of leader of this punk gang at the beginning of the film that, you know, accosts Arnold, and he wants their clothes, and they laugh at him. It's kind of a famous scene, I guess, now. So it was like a cameo kind of a situation, but I remember going up to Griffith Observatory And we spent the night up there shooting that sequence where Arnold first kind of comes to Earth, and the garbage truck guy sees him, and then he comes walking across towards us, and the rest, I guess, is kind of cinema history.
Your clothes. Give them to me, now.
I think we had a sense as we watched dailies that something pretty cool was happening. It represented pretty much the best that I could do. And I don't think it ever occurred to me that it wouldn't be a good film. I don't think I necessarily could have predicted that it would be a cult hit that would have an enduring value in the way that it has. That would have been, I think, impossible to predict in the same way that the success of Titanic was impossible to predict before the fact. Sometimes there's just an alchemy that happens between a movie and the audience that is impossible to quantify.
You're a terminated fucker.